Do you really want to eat healthier, but you just don't have the skills or the time to make healthy, homemade, nutritious meals? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you 4 simple, inexpensive recipes that are packed full of nutrients and most importantly, they taste amazing. Hi, my name is Sorcha. I'm a nutritionist and healthy lifestyle blogger from Ireland, and in this channel I help make healthy living simple because it doesn't have to be complicated. The recipes for all the dishes I'll be making in today's video can be found on my website, sorchashealthyliving.com. The link is in the description below. Today we'll be making my absolute favourite snack, tomato and basil bruschetta. This is a really simple recipe to make and it's so tasty. Then we'll be making crispy salmon and noodle dish. I'll be using canned salmon in this dish so it's not expensive because sometimes fresh salmon can be kind of expensive. Then a kind of healthy twist on chicken and chips. So smoked paprika potato cubes are a really good alternative to chips. They're a lot lower in saturated fat and they still taste really good. And then chicken, you can basically do anything with chicken. Like you can put any herb, any spice, you can make it spicy, you can make it not spicy, whatever you want. So that's kind of giving you a lot of flexibility in this dish. And then veg. And then the final dish to top it all off, an apple and blueberry crumble. That, no, it is not like healthy apple and blackberry crumble. It's just a normal apple and blackberry crumble. And yeah, there is seeds and stuff in it. So that means that if you're allergic to nuts, you might have to kind of tweak it a little bit. But apart from that, it's really tasty and also really easy to make. So let's get started. For the bruschetta, you're going to need a nice crusty bread, cherry tomatoes, olive oil, and some fresh basil leaves. So depending on how many people you're making it for, cut that many slices, so 1 to 2 slices per person. I'm making it for 1 person, so I cut 2 and put them under the grill and make sure that you turn both sides. Then you need to chop up your cherry tomatoes. Now, you can chop them up in halves, you can chop them in quarters, it doesn't matter. Then you're going to chop the basil leaves, so you roll it up like that and chop them into small little pieces. You can then add them to the tomatoes, and then you're going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Obviously, if you're making it for more, you're going to use more tomatoes as well, so you'll use more olive oil. And then you're going to take your toasted bread out of the grill and just top it with the tomatoes like that. Really easy, really simple, and really tasty. Like I mentioned before, this bruschetta is my absolute favourite snack, and also the olive oil, because you don't heat it, it's actually a lot better for you. Using olive oil in cooking is great, but heating olive oil up actually can release some harmful toxins sometimes. Just to keep that in mind. You're getting more benefits from it if you're taking it raw. So then this recipe is for 2 people. So if you have more people, obviously you just make more. The one thing you could probably do is, I used white bread in this. You could use a whole grain or seeded bread just to increase the fibre content a bit more. Apart from that, it's simple, it's easy, and it's tasty, which is the most important thing. For this recipe, you'll need 1 can of salmon, some frozen or fresh veg, some egg noodles, and then some herbs and spices that you can use. You can use loads of different ones like parsley, thyme, oregano. First you need to prepare your veg, so you can boil them, you can steam them, or you can stir fry them if they're frozen. You can even microwave them, and prepare your noodles. Then you need to open the can of salmon. And you're going to have to drain the salmon. So take your prepared veg and put them out on a pan. I'm only making it for 1 person, so there's not a lot, but you can use more if you're making for more than 1 person. Then just drain the salmon and just spread it out on the pan like so. Mix it up and then add your herbs, whatever herbs you like. And also if you don't want to add herbs, you don't have to. So canned salmon is a great source of inexpensive protein. Also, it is a source of calcium because the bones are soft so you can eat them, whereas with fresh fish you can't eat the fish bones. And the only thing is, canned salmon, if it's in brine, same with tuna, it can be quite salty because that's what brine is, it's salt. So if you got it in like spring water or that, it would lower the sodium content. You could probably use, instead of using egg noodles, you could use rice noodles, or if you wanted to increase your fibre content more, you could use whole grain pasta, whole grain rice even. You don't have to use noodles. You can use gluten-free noodles, so there's a lot of flexibility in this dish once again, which is great. Also, I added some herbs, but you don't have to because the brine, the salt on the salmon actually will give it loads of flavours, so you don't really need to add a lot. So it's best to probably taste it first before you add anything. I know in the recipe I added the herbs to the salmon and the veg before I put them under the grill, but if you feel like you'd like to try it without the herbs first and add them after, that might be a good idea if it's the first time you've tried it. This dish is also a great source of omega-3s and vitamin D. Vitamin D is really hard to get from food because there's not a lot of food sources of it, so great source if you're finding it difficult to get vitamin D into your diet. For this recipe you'll need some boiled potatoes, some chicken breast, some microwave veg or frozen veg or fresh veg, olive oil, smoked paprika, and then any herbs that you want to use to kind of spice up your chicken. Then you need some cling film and tin foil, and a meat basher or a rolling pin. First you're going to want to spread the cling film out on a surface because you're going to wrap the chicken up in the cling film. Before you wrap it up, you're going to add olive oil and then whatever herbs you want to use to season your chicken. Wrap it up nice and tight and then bash it with the meat basher, the meat tenderizer or the rolling pin until it's nice. It just tenderizes the chicken. Then you're going to get your tin foil. You're going to need 1 piece of tin foil per chicken breast. So I'm cooking 4 chicken breasts, so I need 4 pieces. Then you're going to wrap the chicken in the tin foil in like a little boat and keep a little opening at the top. You're going to put that in the oven at 180 degrees for 30 minutes until it's cooked through. Meanwhile, you also then need to get your potatoes, put them in a large pan and cover them in olive oil and then mix them up. Make sure they're completely covered in olive oil. Then you're going to put smoked paprika on top and then you're going to mix it again. And you're going to put that in the oven also for 30 minutes at 180 degrees. So it would be a good idea to put them both in at the same time. You basically just have to microwave your veg. So this is just a really basic dinner that you could do anything with it really. Like I said, chicken is really versatile. You can add different herbs, different spices. You can make it smoky, you can make it spicy, you could add chili to it, whatever you want, whatever your preference is. The smoked paprika cubes are great. You can use leftover potatoes if you've made too many potatoes for dinner the day before, you have some left over. This is a great way to use them up, or you could just boil them like I did in this video. But they're a great alternative to chips because they're not deep fried, they're not high in fat, they're not processed because you're just using potatoes and you're not adding salt. The smoked paprika is an amazing spice or herb, I think it's a spice, that you should really try if you haven't tried it already. For this recipe, you're going to need 75 grams of plain flour, 75 grams of whole grain flour, 3 tablespoons of rolled oats, 75 grams of muscovado or brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of sunflower seeds and 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds, 75 grams of butter, 4 tablespoons of apple juice, 4 cooking apples chopped, and 200 grams of blueberries. You're going to add your flours into the bowl and mix them. Then you're going to add the butter and rub them together to make fine breadcrumbs. Once you've done that, you're going to add the sugar and you're going to mix that up. Then you're going to add your rolled oats, and then you're going to add your seeds, and you're just going to mix that all up together. Next, you're going to get an oven-proof dish, and you're going to add your chopped apples and your blueberries. Then you just mix them together and pour the apple juice over top of them. And then you're going to take a tablespoon of brown sugar and just sprinkle it over the top as well. Then you're going to add your crumble mix on top of that. And you just put that in a hot oven, 180 degrees centigrade, for 35 minutes or until it's nice and browned. So this is just a nice, simple dessert that you can make. You don't have to use apples and blueberries. You can use any kind of fruit. In fact, it might be good to use whatever fruit is seasonal at the time. You could use rhubarb, you could use strawberries, you could use black currants, gooseberries, raspberries, whatever kind of fruit you like to add. You could even, I don't know, add like something like pears to it. So also very versatile. You can add whatever fruit you want depending on your preference. Like I said, if you're allergic to nuts or seeds, like be careful with the seeds. You might have to leave them out, which is fine, but they are a great thing to add in if you're not allergic to nuts and seeds, because they'll increase the fibre of the crumble. And although you've added in sugar, you're using whole grain flour as well, and that fibre slows down the absorption of the sugar, so you're not going to get as bad of a blood sugar spike that most desserts would give you. You can also eat it hot, or you can eat it cold, and you could add some custard, or you could add some ice cream or like whipped cream, whatever you want. If you liked this video, and I hope you did, be sure to check out my video on budget meal planning for students. It's for students and anybody who wants to learn how to plan your meals in advance on a budget so that you're not wasting money when you're going grocery shopping. And also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be notified when I upload any more videos. Bye!